always a good friend.
And let's listen to Pavarotti. Put on Pavarotti.
Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I'm your host, Pavarotti, here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. As a disclaimer, this channel is for entertainment purposes. These are my opinions. I'm not here to slander anyone. I will be providing information and I will be speculating on that information. All speculation belongs to me. Let's get started. Okay, so we had some new court docs drop and nothing earth-shattering, but it does answer some questions, some lingering questions I'm sure we've all had on our mind. The first question it answers is, after that ex parte hearing, was it last week or the week before last, between Ann Taylor, the judge, and the state administrator of the defense fund, all being in the court hearing talking about the new contracts, and been some questions. Would Ann Taylor be able to stay on the case? Well, I think that question has been answered for us, because not only is she filing these new court docs, but also I believe her team is still on board, because everybody on her team is listed on the receiver's list of these motions and filings. And there's one other thing that we'll go over as we get into this that got to give Ann Taylor some credit. She's thinking on multiple different levels whenever she's doing something. So 2 new court docs hit. Let's take a look at them. I'll give you my take and we'll go from there. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger, vying through his attorney of record, and hereby moves this court for an order permitting remote participation at the notices hearing, notices hearing currently scheduled for, at the motions hearing, my eyes, currently scheduled for November 7th, 2024 at 9 a.m. All right, so we've already talked about the motions hearing that's going to happen on November 7th. That's going to be for all the issues regarding the death penalty filings and the arguments about that. Then the next big hearing after that, unless something's scheduled in between, will be the big giant hearing on January 25th. Here's what's important about this one, though. This motion is made on the grounds that Dr. Wolf, which is one of the specialists or the expert witnesses that the defense is going to have give her dissertation in this hearing about, the inadequacies of the death penalty. But what she's doing is she's filing a motion for her to attend by way of Zoom, because she's in Florida. You can see it says this motion is on the grounds that Dr. Wolf resides in Florida, but this is a very, very smart thing for the defense to do, and I'll explain here in a minute why that is. And the defense would like to keep costs minimal. Defense counsel has arranged for an expert witness, Barbara C. Wolf, MD, to be available via Zoom and or WebEx on this date and time. So she files the motion for her, and then she specifies that she's in Florida, she's on Zoom, but she puts in this language that's very important, that the defense would like to keep costs minimal. And that's because in that ex parte hearing, you can bet they were hammered on the costs on things involved in this trial. So Ann Taylor has to pick and choose her battles. And this is probably a battle that she didn't really want to fight. Having her testify by Zoom would probably, just be just as good as testifying in the courtroom. But being able to show that she's keeping costs under control is a very good PR move for her in this case, and that'll help her when she has to spend money on important things. So that's the first one. Then we have this order sealing the defendant's motion to adopt voir dire procedure. And the court, having it before defendant's motion to adopt voir dire procedure and objection to magic question, we can only assume what the magic question is, and for good cause appearing, hereby orders that the motion be immediately sealed pursuant to ICAR, Idaho Criminal Administrative Rule 32I3A, to preserve the party's right to a fair trial. The interest, and this is the state, you can see filing this one, or the judge ordering this one. The interest in privacy predominate over public disclosure, and sealing is the least restrictive way to protect the privacy interest at issue. So they're sealing the voir dire procedure and the objection to the magic question, whatever that is, but he cites Idaho Criminal Administrative Rule 32I3A. So let's take a look at that and see if we can garner any knowledge from the Idaho Criminal Administrative Rule. Okay, so this is ICAR 32-1, I think it was 1A3. But in applying these rules, the court is referred to the traditional legal concepts in the law of the right to a fair trial, invasion of privacy, defamation, and invasion of proprietary business records, as well as common sense respect for shielding highly intimate material about persons. So, well, this makes sense that he would cite this, because common sense respect for shielding highly intimate material about persons. Whenever you're talking about jury selection or voir dire in any way, that would apply. I would always assume that would apply. So there's nothing earth-shattering in these docs, but they were very telling. We know the ex parte hearing happened with Ann Taylor about the new contracts with the public defense, and how the pay was going to change for everybody, and would they be able to keep Ann and her team? I think all those questions have been answered now. They're going to stay. And I'm sure in that ex parte hearing, Ann was directed by the director of the public defenders that's funding everything to cut costs wherever she could. So she's strategically doing it, and she's doing it in a very good PR way as she does it. And we'll talk about that some more. So it takes a pretty sharp individual to not only be, good at being an attorney, following the law, but also to think on a very strategic level as it relates to dealing with people. You see, by taking Miss Wolf in her testimony, knowing that it could possibly hinder just a little bit, doing her testimony from a Zoom, and rather than having her in court testifying, but not so much that the money isn't better well spent somewhere else. But by using a scenario like this to present, maybe she didn't even want to come or couldn't come to Idaho, and she was going to need to do Zoom anyways, and Taylor's able to frame it for the judge and for the record that the reason that she's even asking for the Zoom participation rather than in-person testimony is to reduce the cost of the defense and show that she is watching the budget tight. So killing two birds with one stone, and perception is reality, perceiving it the way that she wants them to perceive it. That enables her to continue to spend the kind of money she needs to spend in matters that are very important to the case. I applaud you for that, Ann Taylor. Very good. But that's where we're at today, folks. I've got several videos that I want to put together for you. They're already started. But it's the weekend, so I think I'm going to take just a little bit of time off because I have been busy here lately. I think we're going to work around the house a little bit, do a little remodeling that we've been planning to do for a while. Also, I want to mention, people ask me all the time, have I looked into other cases? Will I look into other cases? Well, there is one other case that I've looked in, very, very deeply over the years, and it's the West Memphis 3 case, and I've done that for a few reasons. And I believe that I've practically solved the West Memphis 3 case about 2 or 3 years ago. Never have mentioned it to anybody. I did a members only video I released this morning, and it gives my theory, and my theory is strong, and it's a theory nobody has ever come up with, on that West Memphis 3 case. So if you would, I am going to leave that one members only though, but if you don't want to be a member, that's fine. You can probably catch some of the other members in a chat, and they can give you the the details, because I don't know, I'm interested to see how that one comes across. But please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your comments, your thoughts, criticisms. Until next time, Pavarotti is out.